Aloha guys, hope everyone's doing well. Today's another little quick tutorial on the new DJI Osmo Pocket waterproof case. So as you see here, this is the box you get. It basically includes this and this, which is the actual case itself, as well as some instructions which are pretty straightforward, and I'm going to read them to you really quickly. It essentially says, make sure, let's see if you could see this. Make sure the waterproof case is dry and clean. Pay special attention to make sure there are no small objects or buildup inside the secure ring. So they call it a securing ring, I believe. I don't even have my glasses. This font is so small. So securing ring, okay. So the securing ring is essentially an O-ring. Now mind you, I've been living in Hawaii for the past 10 years, and essentially what I've been doing is ocean photography. So whether it's taking my iPhone in the water with a water shot housing, this little securing ring, hence like AKA little rubber gasket seal, this is universal on whatever it is, whether it's for my Nikon D850, this little, let me get this, shaking things, getting crazy in here. It's hard with this little tripod. Okay. So this O-ring, rubber gasket, securing ring, whatever you want to call it, you need to be very mindful every time you get in the water and you put your camera or your Osmo Pocket, you need to make sure it's clean, debris free. Literally a grain of sand can frick you up. So you don't want any kind of particle, debris. They're just touching on it lightly in this little instruction book. But essentially, they're telling you what I'm telling you and what I've known as a water photographer in Hawaii for the past 10 years, from people who build water housings themselves, lots of experiences, drowning cameras, having issues. Be super conscious and mindful, as I said. So essentially, this is it. You unscrew this, it's threaded. And then here, you have a clip which will pull out to secure and put in the Osmo Pocket. Then you put this back in to secure it down. I'll show you that in a second. But what I want to touch on is, again, this right here, which is the O-ring. So the O-ring is in here. It's crucial in basically everything when you take a camera in the water. But again, be mindful, like they're saying in the instructions, that the securing ring has literally no dust or debris at all. So you can use a little compressed air if you have to, whatever it is. Be very mindful, because that could easily go bad quickly. And essentially what you need to do to get this ready and in the housing is pretty simple. Turn your Osmo Pocket on. And then from here, let me see if I can get the exposure right. One more second. I'm going to swipe down on it and get to the settings, and then swipe to the left, all the way to the left. And this little icon, you depress, and it should say, or no, I got to tap it again, and it says power off Osmo before placing in waterproof case. And you get two options, later or power off. So I'm going to power off now, but what you need to do, so as you see, it powered off. I'm using my iPhone, so apologize for the exposure and focus issues. But regardless, when you power off, your settings are now locked in. So I have this set for video, 4K, 60 frames per second. I have it set to auto. I haven't messed around with manual mode yet, because I literally just got this 2 days ago. And I went in the pool, and I'll post a little link in my description of some sample footage I shot the first day. I want to see, I don't even know, I got these Freewell filters. I'd like to try one of these guys to see how it will work, slowing down the shutter. But I didn't want to mess around with it going into the swimming pool here where I'm at. But again, all you have to do now that it's set, so again, you swipe down, you swipe to the left, and you enabled the, the water shot case mode, and all you do is match the front to the front. Makes sense, pretty common sense logic. To push this down, and then push this clip into place. So now that's in place. And again, be mindful this O-ring isn't popping up. I've had this thing kind of come up and I had to just push it down and reseat it, being conscious and careful not to stretch it out or do anything to really ruin the integrity of it. So now that it looks pretty good, just go ahead and screw it on. They're thick threads, so you can see pretty instantly that it's taking, you know, it's screwing on the correct way. And when you tighten it, you don't want to tighten it like crank down on it for sure. You just want to tighten it just enough. Don't like crank and use all your, you know, all your strength, because you're gonna crank on the seal too much and it can actually cause it to leak. So just a good little tightening and that's it. And then from here, same kind of thing, press to turn on. And then let me see what I can do with the exposure. And then from here, I can hit the right button to toggle between photo and video, and that's essentially all you get out of it. That's why you need to be conscious of your settings. And then again, the right button, the left button with the red dot will start recording and end recording, or take a picture if you're in still mode. So with that being said, the only thing I want to try, yeah, you can easily put a filter on. There's room, obviously. So you see there's plenty of room to go ahead and throw on maybe, oh shit. See, that's what you got to be careful of too. I don't think you're going to break it, but still, it kind of comes out of this little ring that screws down with the threads. So when that happened one time, the seal came off and I had to kind of reseat it. So say I put on a neutral density from Freewell, that's a 32 stop, clip that on, and should be good to go. Let's see. Again, make sure it's seated the correct way. Take your time with this, and voila. Let me get that focused again. Freewell filter, plenty of breathing room. Good to go. It's going to probably be too dark now because I'm on auto mode. Again, ideally, setting it obviously to manual mode, something like 60th of a second for your frame rate, but pretty cool. And pretty straightforward. There's nothing too complex about it. What I really wanted to convey to you guys is that you do need to be mindful for those who aren't familiar with the water game. And again, been shooting waves and surf and all kinds of stuff in Hawaii for a long time. So essentially, same exact kind of concept when you're working with the water is be conscious of the O-ring, whether again, it's something like this for the iPhone. With this kind of seal, you always want to make sure super clean, and the same stays true for this little guy. So right now I can power it off, but I hope that helps. I mean, again, it's pretty straightforward. Really the biggest thing that I want you guys to be conscious of, and again, I can't stress it enough, is just that this O-ring always stays clean. You know, the only time it's going to get bad is if you're at the beach or somewhere sandy. But if you're just going in swimming pools and things like that, usually pretty minor. Again, another thing to do after you get done with this is rinse it off in fresh water if you're in the salt water or something. Even if you're in chlorine, anything, good practice is always rinse off your gear. So anytime I get out of the water in the ocean shooting surf or anything with this guy, wait 1 second. I make sure I rinse it off and I make sure I take this off. And I usually take some kind of like my shirt or cotton something to make sure this is all clean. And again, I do the same with this and make sure this is all good all the way through. So literally there's not one piece of anything on this O-ring. Totally clean and good to go. And again, it's always best too, in theory, to kind of prep this stuff before you get excited to jump in the ocean or snorkel or whatever it is, because you sometimes you just tend to rush through things when you're at the beach and excited to get in the water or see something or swim with dolphins or swim with sharks or swim with turtles or whatever it may be, get in big shore break. So anything that's gonna keep you from not paying 110% attention, don't do it. Do it at home, the comfort of your kitchen table, whatever it may be, and that's it. So with that being said, happy shooting. Aloha. Hope it helps. Give me some feedback. Again, this is coming from someone who's been shooting in the water for 10 years, so I'm trying to share a little bit of my water photography, videography knowledge with you guys based on just the overall care of your gear. So again, take care, guys. Peace. Bye.